Hey guys, Blockchain Bernie here, episode 400. Big bold question. Can Solana, the Sol price, rise to $2,000 in this cycle? Yes or no? And that's an important question. Many of us think like, should I enter Solana now? We've seen the bull run, right? Others, are sitting on gains and thinking like, should I sell now? Should I get more? And in this video, you walk away from this video and you'll know exactly what are the bullish drivers for the Sol price for the rest of this cycle, and what are the caution points. And there are caution points, and they're important to understand. So yeah, you'll walk away from this video with knowing exactly what these points are. But let's dive right into it. So Solana already had a bull run in the past few weeks, right? And it was testing the all-time high, like the $250 mark, a couple of times, but then it went back below 200. And right now it's at the recording of this video at around $211 and something. And it's about a $115 billion market cap of the Sol token, right? So, and that's one of the caution points that I'll get back to later in this little video. But now, let's start with what would speak for Solana hitting 2,000? What have been the drivers of the past rallies, right? So let's dive into that. And there are a few factors that speak for further momentum in the Sol price. And the first one I want to mention that is the Alpenglow upgrade, right? So Alpenglow, it's a little bit like a weird word. It's like a German-English fusion. It's it's about the Alps and a special weather event there when they glow. And that is a very, very technical upgrade, right? Even though the name Alpenglow doesn't sound that technical, but it's a lot of things happening in the consensus mechanism. And guess what? The proof of history, which was the main innovation on Solana, and even Anatoly Yakovenko, he filed a patent for it. You still find that patent online now for the proof of history. And I think they later decided to get everything into the foundation and just get rid of the patent application and instead release everything under Apache 2.0, which is not only a permissive license, but it also includes a patent grant, right? So that means all the patents that Solana might have gotten or not, we don't know, they are voluntarily being released to the public with that Apache 2.0 release, right? So, but that proof of history, it's going to become history because they have Alpenglow, right? And Alpenglow will do away with proof of history, and for one big goal, to shorten the time to finality, right? So Solana is already one of the fastest blockchains out there, right? The transactions per second and everything is like crazy fast, but there is that concept of finality. Finality means a transaction cannot be revoked under no circumstances. And why is that important? It's important to settle trades. It's important to settle payments, right? We want to know, okay, yep, it's paid, and boom, deal is done, right? We need finality. And that could take 20, 30 seconds or so on Solana. And with Alpenglow, that goes to 100 to 150 milliseconds. And then we're final. And, maybe that's also driven by a few other chains, like competitor chains that have short time to finality. And time to finality is important, right? And with Alpenglow, we go to 100 to 150 milliseconds. So that makes it rival like traditional finance exchanges, right? And that was Anatoly's original idea. blockchain at the speed of NASDAQ. That was the title of his pitch deck for his venture capital back in the beginning. So with the Alpenglow upgrade, it's out there. It's being voted on right now from the validators, and we have 98% agreement, right? That's different from the other proposals that were out there that were kind of controversial, right? Alpenglow is not controversial, so that's awesome. And all the big players and big names that are out there in Solana in the validator community, they all voted for it. I voted for it with my Xandium validator. So that's awesome. And Alpenglow, if it comes, it's going to be a big driver, right? Because suddenly, you know, the Solana becomes even more suitable for new use cases in the trading and DeFi field, in NFTs and app adoption and everything. So that's number one. What's the next bullish factor? But before I dive into the other bullish factors and also the caveats and the caution points, please, if you haven't done so already, consider giving me that like button here. It's a small ask that I have. Like this video. If you haven't already done so, also subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment right down below. Okay, so the next bullish point is tokenized equity. So what does that mean? There's also a buzzword out there that's called ICM, Internet Capital Markets. So that means all the capital markets with stock trading, they are moving to the internet and specifically to the blockchain. And Solana is a first here, right? We recently have Galaxy. Galaxy is launching their shares, their equity shares, you know, SEC registered stock. It's issued natively on chain. Can you believe that? It's not like a token that tracks a stock or a token where stocks is being deposited or something to make it one for one. No. The SEC, the Security Exchange Commission of the United States of America, they have allowed Galaxy to issue their stock, not in the form of a stock certificate on paper as we had before, and then later on it was like stock in the systems of the banks and broker-dealer organizations like your Robinhood or Interactive Brokers or whoever you're with, or Webull or something. No, they issued the stock of that stock corporation natively on chain. Guys, that is history being written right now, right? And it happened right on Solana. And I know that ICM, Internet Capital Markets, that's a big, big priority for everyone on Solana, right? So that can be a big, big driver in the next few years that will drive up the SOL price, right? It's a huge, huge milestone, all right? Then we have a surge in open interest, right? So $13 billion in futures open interest, and that's the highest ever. So we see a lot of demand for the SOL token. We have high trading volumes again. So those are all bullish signs for the SOL price. And we've seen so many 10x's, and the big question is, can it 10x again? Can it go from 200 to 2,000? Can it go from $110 billion market cap to 1.1 trillion? That's the big question, and we discussed the bullish drivers now. But you know, I promised you, you walk away from this video with knowing the pros and the cons. So let's look at the caution points, right? Let's do a market cap reality check, right? If we really think about what's going on here. So let's look into Solana here. You see Solana here, and it's at about $211, and it's a $114 billion market cap here, right? So if you think about 114 billion, that is more than the market cap of General Motors and Ford combined, right? So we're under 100. If you just add General Motors and Ford, they're both around 50 billion, right? We're above, we're like 15% above the market cap of Starbucks, which is around like 99 billion right now, right? So these are kind of grown-up companies that have conquered the world, and everyone knows them all over the world. Everyone has heard of Starbucks. Everyone has heard of General Motors and Ford. Not everyone has heard of Solana. But they are there already with $115 billion market cap. So that is a question like, can they really go to 1.1 trillion? Can they go to like the likes of a Tesla, right? That is the big question. And some say, oh yeah, sure they can. And yeah, but I think they'd have to get a lot of more adoption. Until then, we really need to break through the mainstream adoption. And my personal opinion is, if it's only for trading, and Solana is focusing so much on speed and on trading, DeFi and stuff like that, I'm not sure. Let's see, where is Interactive Brokers actually, one of the largest brokers, which we can compare with the goals of Solana, right? Let's see where they are with their market cap. We have Interactive Brokers Group here, and their market cap is at 108 billion, and it's already blown up. It's like an over 30 forward profit and PE ratio, right? Forward PE here, price earnings ratio is 33.66. So they are quite high just because they recently got added to the Standard & Poor's 500 index, which means that gave them a boost here, right? And Solana is already more than that. So that is a caveat, right? We need to see, can they really 10x from here if they stay in that trading thing, right? And that's what I see on Solana everywhere. Everyone talks about how can we compete with traditional finance, with NASDAQ and stuff like that. How can we be faster? But that's a narrow field. Interactive Brokers has 100 billion in market cap, right? General Motors and Ford together have 100 billion. Starbucks has 100 billion. So I firmly believe Solana can grow another 10x, but they have to be broader. They have to conquer more things rather than just trading. And the sad thing is, if we focus just on trading, there's competition. There is Hyperliquid, and guys look into Hyperliquid. They are real competition to Solana in trading, right? In DeFi. And even look into things like Solana or something, right? They are not alone. Solana is not alone, right? But there is more things to do on the blockchain rather than just trading tokens or trading stocks or stuff like that, right? There's the original idea of Web3 that requires storage on chain. And of course, that's my own project here, my own little baby Zandium, which is building the scalable storage layer, the scalable file system on Solana. And, Zandium is building on Solana for good reasons. But I feel like only if Solana will, position itself a little bit more broad, right? Not only doing trading, but doing Web3. And if Zandium becomes a success, that will also boost both tokens. It will boost the XAND token, XAND, which you can buy on Jupiter if you're interested, and it will boost the SOL price as well, right? But if Solana stays in only that narrow trading thing, it might go another 10x, but I wouldn't bet my farm on it. I wouldn't bet my house on that. But if they can go broad, and if Zandium becomes a success, and obviously small caps like the Zandium token, right, with like 2-figure million market caps, they're way more likely to 10x or 100x or even 1,000x than Solana that's already at 114 billion, right? So keep that in mind. Yeah, so that's the market cap reality. Competition is rising. I talked about Hyperliquid, a Sol layer, many L1, L2 new entrants. Sol isn't alone, and right now they are only focusing on reduce latency, increase bandwidth. In other words, make it the fastest blockchain to compete with traditional finance. That's good. It's not a problem in itself, but it's narrow. It's a focus on one thing. It's like a T-shaped thing, right? Like if you look at the letter T, you're mediocre at all these things, and then the T goes down here. Stroke of the T. And you're very, very good and go very, very deep in one little area, and then you go back up, and that's it, right? And yeah, so I think Solana badly needs something that makes it suitable for Web3 and for other apps other than just trading, right? And even for trading and DeFi, at some point we need storage. People need lending platforms where you can upload your credit report, or you can upload your deed of your house and prove that you own it and stuff like that, right? So yeah, that's what I think. So yeah, and again, small caps are more likely to 10x, 100x, 1000x. For Sol to 1000x, that's kind of unlikely, I believe, for a lot of smaller caps. And it seems like alt season is beginning, right? Everyone expecting alt season, and there has been tremendous interest in altcoins just recently, right? And if you own the right smaller ones, and of course I'd love, no financial advice, and I'm involved in Zandium myself, but I also believe in Zandium, right? And I think 1000x is possible for that in the next 2, 3, 4 years, right? And at least way more likely than for mega caps that are already huge. All right, so now that we've dived into all these things, I have a final question for you and a final request for you, and it's just liking this video. No, I'm just kidding. You should do that anyway, of course. Like and subscribe. But I have another request for you. I'm honestly interested in what is your opinion. Do you think $2,000 of Sol price is possible this cycle, or rather not, and why? So just let me know. If you just say yes or no, I'm super happy, right? I will want to know, do you think 2,000 is possible this cycle or no for Sol? Let me know in the comments. But if you can explain a little bit of why and what experiences you had in the past, right? And there are so many people I know that are telling me, I lost everything with Terra Luna and this and that and that. People have made so many experiences. Let me know in the comments, what's your experience, and what do you think, and what are your hopes, and do you believe Sol can reach 2,000 this cycle or no? Looking forward to your comment. For now, thanks so much for watching, guys. Catch you later. Peace.